Massive PlayStation 5 hit Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox this August as console exclusivity wall comes down, and I say it's about damn time. I, for one, will say that I welcome our Xbox brothers in arms to fight the squids and the bugs and the bots and kick all of them out of our rightfully earned galaxy. Now, I know this isn't the first game to come to all platforms, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, myself being a PC player, but it is a bit heartwarming to see that wall come down. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And just that, quite frankly, I would like to see a day where there is no exclusivity. You can play on the machine you want to play on, have fun, and play with all of your friends. Have a good time. That's one of the things I always hated was like, well, which console do I pick? I want to be able to play with my friends, but then again, I might miss out on these games. Of course, friends take precedence. At least they should. Sometimes, maybe. I don't know, friends are overrated. And this article from Kotaku, yes, believe it or not, I'm using them to actually talk about an honest issue or honest news, I should say, instead of making fun of them. But hey, every now and then they put out an article that isn't just slop, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really sat down and read it yet. You get to go on this journey with me. Like it says here, fans have been requesting Xbox reinforcements since launch. Helldivers 2 is an ingenious game in that the more people that are playing, the better chance we have. Now, granted, your squad can only be 4 people, but there's how many squads operating on a planet to liberate it in the name of managed democracy. Helldivers 2 is breaking its PlayStation 5 console exclusivity and coming to Xbox Series X in August. Fans have long called for the hit extraction shooter to be available on every platform, and in a shocking twist, the Sony published blockbuster is obliging. It's another major crack in the vestiges of console exclusivity and follows in the footsteps of MLB The Show. I don't know much about Major League Baseball, but I can tell you, I am an old veteran of the original console wars, being that Genesis and Nintendo, and unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that war. I was a Genesis fan. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Well, Nintendo last. Luckily, I caved in early in that war and got myself a Super Nintendo, just like my buddy, and we got to play Mario Brothers and all those cool games, Castlevania 4, the good one. I know some people don't like that one because the whip can go in all directions, but, you know, fuck it. I really liked it. Anyway, my point is, it's really interesting to see something bring all the consoles together. Well, except for Nintendo, because they fuck off, whatever, doing their own thing. But I think it's going to be really cool to have Xbox players join in on the fun, because the game is a hell of a lot of fun. I play it all the time still. Granted, I'm not great at the game. If you ever want to come across me playing it, probably play on lower difficulties, because I like to have a few drinks while I'm playing, and the harder difficulties, you don't want to walk into that drunk. The article goes on. You asked for more dudes. We're sending more dudes. No, actually, I asked for nudes, but that's neither here or there. Arrowhead Game Studios Chief Creative Officer Johan Pilstead said during a surprise live stream announcement on Thursday, for 1.5 years, you've been fighting the enemies of democracy, and one of the requests that you've always had for us is to send more dudes. And the best way for us to be able to do that is to bring another platform into the fight. Absolutely. I'm digging it. However, I, at this point, have to state that there is a bit of a dark cloud over this. Some people still cling to the console wars, supposedly, and don't like that another console is coming in on a PlayStation exclusive. Oh, and by the way, if you are new here, my name is Heretic Prince. And if you're enjoying this so far, please feel free to do the things that the algorithm likes. But me personally, I would prefer a comment. I love reading those, it feeds my ego. Check out some of my other videos, and if I'm making the kind of content you like, consider subscribing. Thank you so much. Now, back to the article. Arriving 18 months after launch, Helldivers 2 will have a wealth of content for Xbox players to catch up on, and they'll have missed out on some of the biggest in-game sagas, including the last month to repel an invasion of the game's fictional Super Earth. It's not fictional, it's real to me, damn it. It's a good bet that Arrowhead will have something equally cool planned for the community once it expands with a fresh influx of new players, joining its ongoing D&D Galactic campaign. For those of you Xbox players who might be listening to me, let me tell you, it's really cool how the events happen and how everything really impacts what's going on in the Galactic War. Your decisions matter. Whenever there's a major order, if you decide to just go off and do whatever that you want to, yeah, sure, you might manage to liberate a planet. But then if we lose the major order, there's actual repercussions for these things. But I do feel sorry for Xbox players in that they missed two major events, at least in my mind, is the fight for Malevelon Creek, which we lost. I think we eventually got it back, but I myself, I have the cape because I fought on the creek for a while, trying to help them secure that planet. And then, of course, the fight for Mother Super Earth herself. And I'll never forgive the squids for taking down York Supreme. However, there are rumblings that not everything will be sunshine and rainbows. An article from N4G says the duality of the Helldivers 2 community are the Xbox players' welcome. As you surely know by now, a huge influx of players is expected on August 26th. As Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox, the announcement came out of the blue, and the community was left shocked and seemingly happy. However, over the last couple of days, we've stumbled upon plenty of negative posts. These are mostly made by players angry that their favorite game would no longer be exclusive. Some Helldivers propose highly undemocratic behavior. Here we go. For some reason that many Helldivers can't fathom, a part of this community feels that Xbox users shouldn't be allowed to enjoy this game. That small part of the community calls for mass team kills once the Xbox players arrive. All of this is basically because of the so-called console wars. In short, some PlayStation players don't want Xbox players to have access to previously exclusive games. Some players even half-jokingly called for the sabotage of the previous major order in hopes of delaying the arrival of Xbox players. Simply ridiculous, right? Oh, by the way, just to throw that out there, there are almost real-world consequences for the major orders, such as when the Helldivers, of course, gamers being absolutely horrible, evil people, the Helldivers chose to save a hospital full of children rather than get a new stratagem. And because of that, money was donated to children's hospitals, because gamers are so horrible and evil, right? But yes, there was a major order in which was calling for the training camp for our Xbox brothers in democracy to start training and coming to the front lines to help us all out. Article continues, however, we are quite sure that a small percentage of players will choose to do something stupid So you can expect an occasional player killing teammates playing on Xbox. Just remember that, as of the time of writing this article, 15 million copies of the game have been sold. That's a lot of people. Even though the number of concurrent players has dropped to around a maximum of 60K lately, we expect that number to at least double for the release of Xbox. I don't know, I think that's optimistic, but I honestly hope so. As I said before, I welcome our Xbox brother. Anybody willing to lay down their life for managed democracy is a brother of mine. This article quotes a player, infamous Plan 7374. You're one of us now. You shoot, you bleed, you extract or die trying. With your squad at your side. We don't care what console you come from, only that you came. Sorry, been drinking, mine's in the gutter. So, welcome to the war. You may be new, but you're not alone. Now, I'm going to go on with the third article here, but I also just want to point something out for any Xbox players who are listening to me and think that things are looking grim. I wanted to save this for later, but I'm going to say it now because I feel like it bears being said. I'm seeing a lot of articles and posts about PlayStation people wanting to grief Xbox players, but honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of posts from those people. Now, maybe they're being hidden from me because of the X algorithm or what have you. But frankly, I'm just simply not seeing any of these posts where people are saying that they want to team kill Xbox players. And honestly, it would be a dumb idea to try because there's a lot of us PC players and there's a lot of PlayStation players that, from what I've seen on X, that are welcoming Xbox. They like the fact that the exclusivity has been eliminated. And so if somebody were to honestly try to team kill somebody for being on Xbox, they'd probably have two other people gunning them down right immediately afterwards. That's treasonous. That's traitor behavior. That's undemocratic. That's not the way of Super Earth. We all fight together. Quite frankly, I only have one thing to say to our Xbox brothers and sisters coming in to fight in the galactic war.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. If you don't do your job, I'll shoot you. You get me?
We get you, sir!
So here, Game Rant had an article. Some PlayStation fans are not happy about Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox. The article starts with, a lot of PlayStation fans have expressed discontent over Sony's recent decision to bring Helldivers 2 to the gaming giant key rival, Xbox. This subset of enthusiasts believe that porting Helldivers 2 to Series XS might end up being PlayStation's first step into embracing a multi-platform strategy in the same vein as Xbox. Now again, I think I've made my position clear. I don't like console or PC exclusivity at any rate. I think every game should be available to every console or every device that you use to play games as long as it can handle actually playing the game. I am a firm believer in freedom, baby. Continuing on, Sony's penchant for game exclusivity is a tale as old as time. Historically, PlayStation first-party games would be found nowhere but on PlayStation systems, a strategy that allowed Sony to rack up immense amounts of success in every console generation. However, Sony's grip on exclusivity has loosened in recent years as the platform holder started porting PlayStation first-party games to PC in 2020 and remains committed to the initiative. Sony has even begun licensing some of its older IPs to third-party studios to develop multi-platform ports. Like Patapon and Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, both of which are coming to Nintendo Switch. Ooh, quite frankly, Everybody Golf, I would have guessed that was Nintendo. Now, I know that there are those who are deeply invested into the console war and they want to see their console rise above the others. But I'm a firm believer that if you want your console to be better than the others, do it through its hardware, not through what software is available to it. Quite frankly, the reason I moved the PC was I got sick of having to rebuy my games every time a new console came out. Now, the PC isn't perfect either. Sometimes I get a game and I find out that my controller won't work with it. Because I raised on consoles, I still like to play with a controller. And so that's frustrating. But anyway, I'm going off the rails. I mean, I can only think of like watching old videos of like JTech TV, if you know who that is, being just absolutely 100% invested in like one console. And man, honestly, just as a gamer, I want us all to be able to game together. I joke from time to time about the console peasants and us PC master race. But of course, it's just me having a laugh. I am very happy whenever people on consoles can play the same games I do, and especially when they can play those games with me. Even though I got higher frames per second. Now here it says, some fans believe that Helldivers 2 on Xbox will damage the PlayStation brand. I'm not quite sure how that could be. Maybe they'll explain that further in the article. PlayStation centric. Okay, I'm sorry. It sounds like a bias thing. Sorry, it just made me laugh. PlayStation centric outlook. Push Square pulled. Could you imagine if you pulled 1,300 people? That's quite a body count. Sorry. Oh, God, I gotta stop drinking when I do these. They polled over 1,300 users about Helldivers 2 Xbox port, asking whether Sony is diluting the value of its own platform, or if players for the live service game is a win for everybody. I'm going with a win for everybody. At the time of writing, 44% of respondents believe Helldivers 2 launching on Xbox is a good thing. Are you fucking kidding me? I thought the majority would think it was a good thing. While a lower but still substantial 29% believe it's detrimental. The remaining 26% were apathetic to the same. Meanwhile, a lot of fans also took to platforms like Twitter, X, Reddit, and even the comment section of the PlayStation blog to complain, opining that Sony will likely head down the same multi-platform path as Xbox has over the past year and a half. I don't understand what the problem with that is. I mean, frankly, I think it would be incredible if consoles became these very affordable but high-powered devices that you can hook up to your television and play any game you wanted to. That would be incredible. I'm currently working on a project to take one of my old computer cases and build a PC into it, and I'm literally only going to use it as a console for my living room television, so I can play whatever game I want to in there without being at my computer desk. But if Xbox or PlayStation were to say, here, you can play any game you want to, and you buy this platform for $500, I might go for it. Now, people can talk about the cost or what have you, or that the console doesn't have as much power, whatever. Quite frankly, I understand why people like consoles. It's much more simplistic. I can just hook it up and just play, and I don't have to worry about everything. I don't have to worry about the settings. I don't have to worry about like driver updates. Oh God, I'm starting to sound like a peasant. But my point is that I understand the appeal of a console. And we'll read this just to finish up this article. However, Helldivers 2 marks the first instance of Sony voluntarily bringing a PlayStation game to Xbox. The Helldivers IP is fully owned by Sony, and even Helldivers 2 developer Arrowhead confirmed last year that porting it to Xbox is entirely up to the PlayStation parent. If this wasn't enough proof, Helldivers 2 Xbox port was developed by Nixxes, Sony's in-house porting team. That's incredible. So Sony went out of its way to make sure that the port was going to be good. That's crazy. And the game will be published by PlayStation Publishing on Series X. Therefore, Helldivers 2 making it to Xbox is clearly an intentional move by Sony's part. And it should be interesting to see how the gaming giant addresses this decision in the future. It will be. I think so. I think that will be interesting to see how this is viewed. Because quite frankly, while Xbox and PlayStation have shared things in the past, this feels a little bit more historic. Now, just to dip our toes into the water I was talking about earlier, where I'm just not seeing a whole lot of PlayStation players saying that they actually want to team kill Xbox players. Not to mention that I think that would be a mistake. Xbox has been the exclusive home, well, for the most part, for Halo. And I played competitive, like multiplayer Halo. I shouldn't say played. What I actually did is I spawned and died a lot. Xbox players give a fuck about their their first person shooters. They do not play around. I owned an Xbox. I also owned an Xbox 360 for a time. And whenever I played Halo, I would get my ass kicked because those people, when they played Halo, they were serious about it. Now, I understand Helldivers is a third-person shooter, but I'm pretty sure the skills are going to translate pretty well. And anybody who can shoot that well with a controller, I need a mouse and keyboard to be accurate, quite frankly, has my respect. I would not try to draw arms on Xbox players. Well, unless they're not doing their job, then I'll shoot them myself. So let's look at some tweets concerning Xbox players joining the fight for managed democracy. Welcome all who fight for democracy. Let's do this. Fuck the exclusives. Real PlayStation players are happy to open their games to other consoles. We fight together as one. There's no need to sow division when we are all united under the glorious banner of Super Earth. So well said, soldier. I'm on PlayStation 5, and I am not the slightest upset about it going to Xbox. Give Arrowhead the opportunity to explode with future content and bigger campaigns. Oh yeah, by the way, I heard something about there's going to be a Battle Pass token. You see, like when all of us bought the original, we got the Stilled Veterans Battle Pass. But now that there's so many, you can use this token to choose which one you want to start out with. Now, I felt that Stilled Veterans was pretty good, but I'm not a professional reviewer. You definitely might want to take a look around. However, Arrowhead is releasing another Battle Pass just before Xbox comes into play. And quite frankly, it's looking like that's the one that you want to go to because it has like really useful weapons and new stratagems. That's definitely one to be considered. But in the end, something that you got to understand about Helldivers is that you can get actual currency while playing the game. And what I mean by real currency is that there are the battle passes that you can buy with real money, but those credits can also be found in the game. So if you're patient and you play enough, you can actually get all the battle passes without paying a dime. Now, granted, it takes some time, but I've bought more than one battle pass with credits that I found completely out in the field while serving managed democracy. You know, and like I said, almost every tweet that I'm seeing is in support of the game coming to Xbox. Here another person says, it doesn't matter whether you're playing on Xbox, PC, or PlayStation. All that matters is that we are gamers. This is the truth of the matter. Not all of us PlayStation Helldivers are crying about it. I'm looking forward to finally joining you Xbox divers in the fight for democracy. Now, I will tell you Xbox players, here's something you got to understand about this game. You are entering a world of immersion. People actually like role play in the middle of the game, including myself. I leave my mic on and I will scream for managed democracy, have a taste of freedom. I'm screaming all kinds of weird shit. But it's all part of the fun. I think Xbox players who get this game are going to love their purchase. And I think that we're all going to have a good time. We're going to have a great time killing those socialist bots, fascistic bugs, and quite frankly, just the plain old evil squids. Freedom's going to ring. Democracy will prevail. But with all that said, what do you guys think? Do I have any listeners who have a problem with Xbox players coming to Helldivers? I know I've set the tone to be where we are welcoming to them, but if there's a legitimate reason, I'm more than welcome to hearing it out. But for all those who are fans of this game, or if you're just listening to this because you enjoy my content, I thank you. I hope to see you out there defending managed democracy and the flag of Super Earth. Thank you for listening and letting me share my thoughts with you.